So this new Logic release is a soundtrack to a novel he's written, which is honestly quite a unique idea when you think about the fact that have you ever heard a soundtrack for a novel? Because I don't think I have. There probably are many out there. He's not like innovative and the first ever person to do it, but I think it's quite a unique idea. And Supermarket tells a story of a like teenager named Flynn. He's depressed and he's from the suburbs, and one day he walks into the supermarket where he works at, and there is a crime scene. And look, you probably guessed I haven't read the book. Like, I don't think anyone that's going to be reviewing this album has, you know, taken the time to read the book itself, because I guess when you look at soundtracks like these, they should be able to stand alone, because if they weren't able to stand alone, then they wouldn't be released in the first place. So I'm not really going to go into detail of the ins and outs of the story that's being told here, because I can't really speak on the story. I've only seen extracts from the story so far, and some of the extracts are pretty funny. But I'm going to speak on the music here, and it's pretty clear that Logic has attempted to take a new direction, and no doubt once again all of his super crazy fans are going to praise him for his versatility and his bravery to try new ideas and try different styles and, you know, sample interesting samples. But this album completely failed. This is terrible. It is quite honestly the worst album I've heard from this man so far. Now, as time's gone on, most people have pretty much accepted that Everybody was a bad album, me included. If anyone was subscribed to me back in the day, I did review it, and honestly I was a bit soft on the album, because most of the songs from the album, especially like the deeper cuts, have aged so badly, but they honestly probably haven't aged as badly as the songs from this album, and this album came out like 3 days ago. Now, I know you could definitely argue that Logic is playing the character for the most part on this album. It's not necessarily songs written from Logic's perspective himself, it's more songs written from Flynn's perspective. But even with that in mind, it doesn't change the fact that Logic as a lyricist is still extremely corny. He still makes the most basic rhymes. The content on this album is so, like, he just makes the worst songs out of maybe nice concepts about love or falling in love with a girl that you've just met and things like that. It sounds cute in concept, but the way he executes it is so bad. He's rapping and singing over like acoustic guitar instrumentals, which really just sound as basic and generic as it could possibly get. Why would you choose to listen to Logic doing this when you could just go back and listen to any given singer-songwriter that puts out way better music than this? There are times where he's using like 90s alt-rock instrumentals. What the fuck is Lemon Drop? A second ago, a busker was playing in the streets of England singing about a best friend, and then almost immediately Red Hot Chili Peppers break through onto the scene, make a Rick and Morty reference, and say, "How many licks to lick your lemon drop?" It's so bad, I can't believe he just decided to go for this. And again, he's gonna get praised because it's Logic and all his fans love everything he does, but you can't just praise someone for just merely playing an instrumental that they would never do before. Just because you've done something different doesn't mean it's worked well. It's experimental for his standards, but it doesn't mean it's good. What a terrible song. Once again, Logic proving that he can make some of the worst songs of the year. Like, he did it last year with that song Every Day, Yay, Yay, Yay. And now this year, he's given us Lemon Drop. It's not like the quality picks up from there either, because for the next few songs after that, you get these really like chilled out, sophisti-pop jams. It's like Tame Impala meets Bootsy Collins meets Mac DeMarco. Like, it's all just blended into this really generic stir fry of like really crap 80s whatever. Mac DeMarco is featured as a producer on this album as well for one of these tracks, and I don't know, I just think once again he's attempting to try something different here, which is cool, but it just fails. It just sounds really boring, and his lyrics on these tracks are just really like vapid. They're just void of anything. I think the saddest part about this is that he actually sounds more suited for this sappy and over romantic style that he's going for in this album, with these like acoustic slow jams about love and stuff, than he does when he's trying to be this cool and trendy rapper who's like doing this double speed flow, this triple speed flow, this quadruple speed flow. Because at least here he's actually got a bit of a focus and saying something that's got a bit of a meaning to it, as opposed to just rapping really quickly and saying nothing at all that's worth listening to or reading into. But enough of all that for now, because it is time, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to bring back the book of bad lyrics. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, this is the book of bad lyrics. It's quite old because obviously it's got my old rating system on, but it's still important. Now we're going to start off with the Can I Kick It? Yes You Can shit that he had going on here, because that is quite possibly the most overused and oversampled song in hip-hop history, and I am sick of hearing it, and I do not want to ever hear it ever again in a hip-hop song, because you know what? It's not even a top 40 Tribe song. If you think that's a top 10 Tribe song, you haven't listened to enough Tribe songs. It's not even that great of a song by them, so why do people keep referencing it? Why is it referencing it? Also the Bismarcky. You got what I need, you say just a friend thing that he interpolated. It was so badly incorporated, honestly. Like, I just can't believe he kept making these references to older songs across the album. It really took away from the whole concept on here, because of course he has to make a reference to him being biracial on every album that he does. And he says here, it's the Bobby Boy, better known as Chocolate and Vanilla. That is the lyric of the year right there. But the funniest part about it though is that I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt earlier on and say like, oh, he's kind of not playing himself here. He's, you know, referencing the Flynn character a lot on this album, and yet he still has to reference himself by saying it's the Bobby Boy. So, what is this, a soundtrack album or is this a Logic album? I can't tell. Also, we've got Pretty Young Girl doing pretty young things. She's a pretty young lady pulling at my heartstrings. What is pretty young things? What does that even mean? How can you do pretty young things? I don't know what activities that includes. Is it like looking at yourself in the mirror? Or is it like, you know, a self-care routine? Is that what a pretty young thing is? Like, I don't get it. We also have Let Me Rock Your World. I'm probably gonna rock your world. I love that because it's like, hey, let me rock your world, and then when you get the opportunity to actually rock their world, you're like, well, I'm probably gonna do it. I mean, I can't confirm it. I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna rock your world. I'm probably gonna do it. And then we're gonna end off with, if you a crybaby bitch, I'ma fuck your mum. This is the same album where like the album ends off with, you know, I'm gonna love you forever and all that kind of stuff. How does this fit in? What is he doing? So yeah, as you can tell, I think the album's terrible. I think it's really, really bad. The thing is though, is that, like I said before, his singing, you know, suits these kind of songs. He's a decent singer. He has some pretty solid melodies. I think the opening track, Bohemian Rhapsody, man. The first like few minutes where he's like singing over the instrumental, I think it works quite well. So I'm not going to say everything on this album's horrendous or terrible, because like I say, it's decent singing and some decent melodies throughout. He's suited for this style, but everything about the lyrics and the content and his corniness just reeks, and it ruins pretty much everything about the album. So this is a 3 out of 10 for me. Could go lower, but honestly I did get quite a few laughs out of this album just listening to the lyrics. It was funny. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this, if you hate it or you like it, or whatever you think, let me know. Thank you for watching. Have a good day, and goodbye.